the budget. Now, this is something I'm a stickler about. So before I even started this project, I had a pretty clear outline of like what needs to be allocated where, right? So, knowing that I need a line item for the actual construction, for contingency costs, in case anything goes wrong. And the contractor actually recommended, I think, 10 to 20% of the overall budget as a contingency line item. And then of course the plans for solar, and then just the drawing of the plans themselves, which are separate from the actual construction costs, the cost of having a project manager, like all these different things. So I have a note actually that I keep on my phone outlining the line items for different things. The contractor has also given me an estimated budget. Now it's not final because we don't know what other costs are going to come up or changes will need to be made based on the permitting and the final plans, but it's a pretty close estimate of what I'm looking at. And so what I've done is I am keeping track, of course, on a spreadsheet of all the different expenses and payments that I'm making, but I'm also keeping the project funds in a high yield savings account until when I have to make those payments, right? Because the way that I think about it is I took out a loan to even do this project. And so I have the interest rate that I'll be paying on that loan. And I took the loan out in May and those payments start in July. And so for me, I'm like, okay, if I can make sure that this money while the project is getting underway, make sure the money is not losing value, the least I can do, is put it in a high yield savings account. So I have it there. And then when I do have to make a payment, like when I just made that $8,000 payment, I just make that payment on a credit card that has like extraordinary reward points. And then I go back and pay that credit card with the funds from the high yield savings. Now, the caveat here is that a lot of times you'll have to pay an additional fee to use a credit card. So I don't recommend making every single payment with a credit card. It has to make sense, right? So given what you're earning from the high yield savings and given the value of any points you're going to be getting from the credit card, you have to decide, like, is it worth it to pay this extra 3% to use a credit card when I could just, Zelle it or whatever. So those are things to think about. If the payment is like $25,000, not using a credit card because 3% of that is significant. So those are some of the payment logistics that I'm working with.